Evening peeps, good evening everyone, how we all doing? Hopefully you guys are all doing well. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. If you guys are new to the channel, don't forget as well to like and share the vids. I had no intention of filming this evening. I have just finished TalkSport and I'm getting ready to head up to Liverpool to work there tomorrow. But I did see a couple of stories that piqued my interest, most of them on Michael Benson's Twitter page. So we are going to quickly touch on those stories because I know that I have no time to do a video tomorrow. Before that, there are a couple of stories as well on Boxing Scenes page that I want to quickly touch on. Derek James doesn't believe Anthony Joshua needs to be a dog to be successful. I spent, was it yesterday or the day before, with Derek James and AJ. AJ certainly has a lot of respect for Derek James. That's one thing I noticed straight away. Look, we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I think a lot of people probably just sort of come to the conclusion that when you look at Derek James's big three fighters, so Jermall Charlo, Errol Spence and Frank Martin, they are very aggressive, very dog-like. So I guess we've just assumed that if AJ is going over there, that's one thing that maybe AJ wants to add to his arsenal. But Derek James, speaking to him a couple of days ago, he thinks that AJ is a fantastic boxer. And I think he just thinks it's mental with AJ, that maybe he just needs to unlock something very small and then we're going to see a better AJ. So look, I hope that's true. I hope that happens. I think we all, whether or not you're an AJ fan like me or not, I think we all want to see a better AJ, because ultimately a better AJ means bigger fights in the summer and the big fights sort of December. That's what we want to see, right? We want to see a big fight in the summer for AJ, not looking past Franklin, but a big fight in the summer and a big fight in the winter. And whether you're an AJ fan or not, you want to see AJ versus Fury. You want to see AJ versus Wilder. You want to see AJ versus Joe Joyce. But you want to see the best AJ versus all of those three, because then it makes for exciting boxing matchups. So hopefully, whatever AJ is lacking, Derek James can add to it. That's the hope. What else? Yarde calls for Beterbiev rematch. Also wants Bivol, Canelo, Buatsi. He's not going to get the rematch. It's not going to happen. I mean, look, he was competitive in the fight, but ultimately he got stopped. So you're not going to get a rematch. It wasn't as though there was, anything controversial. It went to points. It wasn't anything like that. Look, the one we want to see is Buatsi. That's the one. I like that, though. I want him to call out these big names, but the one we want to see is Buatsi. Buatsi is a free agent. If I'm Frank Warren right now, I'm making a massive offer to get Buatsi over with the promise that, okay, it's going to be Yarde, it's going to be O2 Arena, it's going to be pay-per-view, you're going to get paid X amount. That's the one that I think Yarde and both Buatsi should ask for. In fact, Buatsi should go for Bivol. That's what Buatsi should ask for. But that's from Matchroom's side. If I'm Frank Warren, I'm trying to get him the Yarde. I'm trying to sell him on the Yarde fight. That's what I'm doing. All right, let's quickly, unless there's anything else on Boxing Scene. What's this one? Tank Davis. Guys get few wins, think highly of themselves. Come see me for a real fight, real check. Dude, let's just get the Ryan Garcia fight done, please. Please. I'm pretty sure it's done. I did speak to Ak yesterday, Ak and Barak from the DAZN boxing show, and they were talking about, Ade, you coming over for the Ryan Garcia Tank fight? For them to ask me that question pretty much means it's done. Although it is a Showtime production, I think DAZN are going to play quite a big part in it. There's definitely going to be a DAZN boxing show and DAZN covering a lot of the build-up. So, yeah, I think that fight is pretty much done. We'll touch on that later on in the week once it's confirmed. I'm tired of putting out these videos saying something's done and it's not done. A couple of interesting tweets here from Michael Benson. Most of these have come via Mike Coppinger, but Michael Benson's put them on his Twitter page. This is the first one. Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford. Talks are reportedly still ongoing in the background at present. It's claimed there remains a remote possibility it could happen next, but Spence versus Keith Thurman remains far more likely as things stand. Yeah, look, I mean, I guess that's somewhat positive that talks are still ongoing, because I thought that thing was done and dead. But I still expect it to be Spence versus Keith Thurman. I wouldn't be surprised if they've kind of said behind the scenes, all right, look, Spence gets past Keith Thurman and then it's me versus you in the summer. I feel like we've been saying that for the last 3 years, but I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. I'm more concerned about the weight of Spence if he goes up to 154. Can he get back down to 147? He probably can, but look, as you get older, to cut that kind of weight gets tougher. And if your body gets comfortable and used to making 154, it's going to really struggle to get back down to 147. But we'll see. Hopefully that happens. This one's interesting as well. Deontay Wilder is reportedly now fielding offers from promoters for his next fight, with his team bringing up a potential Francis Ngannou clash. It's claimed there is frustration between Wilder and PBC over money for a proposed Andy Ruiz fight. This doesn't shock me at all. And the reason it doesn't shock me is because I've noticed Deontay Wilder a lot recently has been calling for this AJ fight. You've heard it from his management team. Malik Scott's been mentioning it as well, and obviously Deontay Wilder himself. He wasn't asking a lot, or he wasn't speaking a lot about the AJ fight in the last couple of years. Obviously, look, his focus was on Tyson Fury, and now it's like, okay, AJ, where are you? Look, A, he wants to fight, but B, he knows it's big money, right? And that's what he's come back for. So this doesn't surprise me. I remember Bernard Hopkins spoke about this to Fight Hub TV, saying that the PBC money has run out. Not run out like that, but it isn't the kind of checks that fighters were getting. These fighters were getting big checks and having like one fight a year, maybe two. I don't think that's there anymore. I really don't. So that's a shame, especially a shame with regards to Wilder versus Ruiz, because that's a fight that we were looking forward to. I guess both of them are going to want big guarantees. But now it might just be a case of, we can't guarantee you money. Let's just have a look at what the pay-per-view numbers are. And Wilder Helenius didn't do great pay-per-view numbers. Look, Wilder Ruiz is a different proposition. It's a different fight. But Wilder Helenius didn't do great numbers, so they can't offer you any guarantees anymore. You've almost got to say, there's almost got to be a conversation of, okay, let's have a look at what bums on seats you do, and let's kind of partner up on the pay-per-view side. If you do good pay-per-view numbers, then there's your money. If you don't, we can't offer you the same guarantees we used to. That seems to be what's happening. A bit here on Jermall Charlo. He's declared that he will be returning to defend his WBC middleweight world title in June. I've seen some awful names being reported. I don't know what to tell you about Jermall Charlo. Jermall Charlo is not Jermall Charlo, by the way. I mean, I make that statement because Jermall is fighting. Obviously, even Jermall now was supposed to fight Tim Tszyu, but obviously he's got a hand injury. Jermall's coming back soon. I spoke to, again, Derek James about this. Jermall, unfortunately, doesn't have the same CV as Jermall. I'm not quite sure what's going on with Jermall Charlo. Did Jermall recently talk about mental health? Sometimes I don't know which one of them speaks, but I'm pretty sure it might have been Jermall. If that's the case, then that's probably the issue as to why we've not seen him as active as he should be. But yeah, you know, when these brothers were coming through, and again, look. By the way, both of them world champions. I'm not discrediting both. By the way, it's not easy to be a world champion. But when they were coming through, I thought they were going to absolutely dominate. And you might say Jermall has to an extent because he's become undisputed, but I expected a bit more from Jermall. I really did. I have no idea what's going to happen. Like I thought at sometimes we might get a Benavidez fight, him going to 168 for that, maybe a Plant fight, maybe a Demetrius Andrade fight. He's never really been in a Canelo or GGG sweepstakes. These are all fighters in and around his weight class. Nothing. All right, this is the story that I really wanted to talk about and touch on. This was reported a few hours back, and it's about Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk. This is what he says. Tyson Fury versus Usyk is reportedly now more likely to take place in England than Saudi Arabia, if it happens at all. It's claimed there is a long way to go in the process of trying to agree a deal with which financially satisfies both men. Again, this does not surprise me at all. Now, both of these fighters agreed to the fight and the money and the terms when the fight looked like it was going to head to Saudi Arabia. Obviously, there would have been a big site fee and the money would have been really, really good. Now, I guess the biggest problem with it happening here, I don't want to repeat myself, I just want to go over a bit of old ground. The biggest problem with it happening over here is that in Saudi Arabia, I'm guessing it would have been a 50-50 split. It's a neutral site. It's a neutral venue for both men. Over here, obviously, well, this is the home of Tyson Fury. He's going to want more money. Now, this almost goes a bit back to the Deontay Wilder thing. Obviously, in Saudi Arabia, there's guaranteed. You've got guarantees. You're going to get this. You're going to get that. They might get an upside on pay-per-view, but I think the site fee would be it. Over here, there's no guarantees. Like, how can you guarantee someone X amount of money when you don't know how much money's coming in? Now, with Tyson Fury, I guess there's an element of, well, we kind of do know because, you know what kind of fees are going to come in from bums on seats, whether it be Wembley or Tottenham, because he does good numbers. But pay-per-view is where the big money is. That's the big money. The gate receipts, that ain't gonna cut it for. This isn't like gate receipts in America. It ain't gonna cut it over here. Even if it's 90,000, it's not gonna do it. So you almost need guarantees on the pay-per-view. I don't believe, and this is just me saying it, you can shoot me down if you want, I don't believe the numbers that are kind of floated around or put out there for Tyson Fury. Like, I saw something about 500,000 for Chisora. Don't believe that at all. No way. No one really wanted that fight. I remember that fight was priced at $26.95. There is no way that done 500,000. No. And this isn't me discrediting Tyson Fury. Trust me, it isn't. Because if a number comes out, and I'm quite positive when it comes to Tyson Fury, because I think he's now a superstar. Do I think he's a superstar that he could sell 500,000 pay-per-view buys for Chisora? No, I simply don't. It's a fight that no one asked for. It's a fight no one was screaming about, and all of a sudden people are going to press pay. No, I don't believe so. So I do wonder if there is an issue, because, and I remember hearing Fury White done around 200,000. Look, I think Fury Usyk does way more than both of those figures. I think Fury Usyk could, or way more than 200. I think Fury Usyk could do 500,000. But how do you guarantee both men the number that they both want when you're not quite sure about the number that's going to come in? It's quite difficult. It's almost like if you guarantee it, someone could be taking a big hit there. Someone could be taking a big hit. Plus, there's obviously an argument about who takes the split, right? I mean, this is, again, Tyson Fury's backyard. Is Tyson Fury wanting a 70-30? Is he wanting an 80-20? I'm not quite sure. Tyson Fury will always tell you he's not about his money and he just wants to fight. He's about his money, people. He's about his money. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. I mean, I don't like the line about if it happens at all. That's a line I don't want to hear, because look, as much as I'm kind of 50-50 with it, whether or not this fight does happen, this is my fight of the year. Like, this is the one. This is it. Like, there's no fight that can be made that has my attention more than Tyson Fury versus Oleksandr Usyk. It's undisputed. It's the marquee division of boxing. Both men unbeaten. One of the best cruiserweights, if not the best cruiserweight of all time. Tyson Fury, a lot of people consider one of the best heavyweights of all time. The winner becomes an all-time great, if not already. So it's the fight I want to see the most, but I do think there are a number of hurdles that need to be overcome. A number of hurdles. We just have to wait and see how this one plays out. A bit here on Josh Taylor, Teofimo Lopez. I already done a video about this earlier today, but it's now sent the fight is close to being a done deal. It's targeted for May 27th or June 3rd at Hibbs's Easter Road Stadium. What capacity is that? That's a capacity of 20,000. Okay. Well, look, the weather's going to be good. 20,000 outdoors, seated. You put seats on the grass as well, maybe around 23, 24,000. Yeah, okay. I mean, look, let's see if it plays out. Let's see if it happens. All right, guys. Anyway, look, I'm done. It was a quick video. 7 o'clock. I do have to shoot. Peace and love.